If you're thinking about moving to Maine in 2023, here is the safest communities in the state. Let's get into it. By the way, my name is Margaret. I'm a local realtor, and if you have any questions about the video or at all about moving to Maine, feel free to reach out to us. All of that information is down below, as well as our relocation guide, which can be super helpful if you're moving to the area as well. So let's briefly go over what are the 10 safest cities or communities in Maine in 2023. In first place, we have Elliott, then Cape Elizabeth, Falmouth, Hampton, Cumberland, Gorham, Belfast, Yarmouth, Orono, and Freeport in 10th place. So now let's dive into things a little bit. So in this report, what are we going over? We're going over primarily violent crime rates and property crime rates, and then we'll go over a couple of other interesting findings that SafeWise found as well. So in general, looking at Maine's crime rates compared to the national average, on this scale here, the national average is at a 4.0. Maine's crime rate, or Maine's violent crime rate, is only at 1.1, which is significantly below the national average. And in property crime, we are at 19.3 for the national average, and the state of Maine is only at 11.7, which is also significantly below the national average. Now, depending on where you look, Maine is generally speaking ranked the #1 safest state in the entire country. It kind of depends year to year, but generally speaking, it's safe to say that Maine is one of the safest, if not the safest states in the entire country. And those statistics right there prove it. Now, I will link this article down in the description below so you guys can kind of delve into it a little bit more on your own and go through the different concerns of people that are living in Maine. This briefly states what the people in Maine are concerned about, generally speaking, based on the search that they did. So now let's take a little bit of a closer look at some of the cities that were named in the top 10 safest in the state. So talking about Elliott was actually in 5th place last year, and now it is in 1st. It took Kennebunk's place, and Kennebunk's not even in the top 10 this year, surprisingly. So then we have Cape Elizabeth, which was also in the top 3 last year. They went up a spot. And then Hampton and Belfast actually were the only cities in all of Maine which had 0 reports of violent crime, which Kennebunk had 0 reports of violent crime in 2022, making it #1 on the list last year. As it's kind of stated down below, it was knocked out of the top 10 as well as Oakland. Then the article just kind of goes over Maine compared to the national average, how many violent crimes were reported, and a little bit more about why Maine is considered one of the safest states. Geographically, this is where all of those communities are located in the state. Elliott at #1, that is the southernmost community that we're looking at on the map here. Cape Elizabeth is somewhere in the middle there, as well as Falmouth. And then again, I'll let you guys delve into this a little bit more on your own, but this gives you all of the cities or all of the communities that were listed, their population, median income, and a little bit more about the rates for violent crime and property crime in each of those different areas. So you can kind of compare and contrast them a little bit on your own. I'll just scroll through these briefly so you can kind of get the gist of it. And yeah, these are the safest communities in the state of Maine. I hope you found this video helpful. And again, my name is Margaret. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. All that information is down below, as well as our free relocation guide. And we'll see you next time.